for this session. Welcome. Good morning, good evening to wherever, to all those who are joining from wherever you are in the world. Just leave us a quick hi on the chat. Let us know your names. Let us know where you're from as well. And I'm going to be going live on YouTube. So in case you are joining us from YouTube, please let us know your introduction on the live chat. Yeah, so we're going to be monitoring the live chat for any questions there. Alpha, hi, Harsha, good evening. Ramesh, good evening. Sarabjeet, Reggie, Nalini, good evening to you. Samuel, good evening. Madhavi, hi, Balaji. Tayyad Ali, good evening to you. Shamim, good evening. Carla, okay, a lot of you joining in. Okay, great. Venki, great. Just leave your names as well on the chat so we know your name because it's hard to identify with your email ID, right? Yes, yes. So we've got enough attendees. We'll just quickly get started with the session. So the agenda today is to help you understand how AI is changing things, what it means for you, what kind of skills you should be gaining, how you can get started. I'm sure all of you are beginners. We'll just understand that a bit as well. What your next steps should be, how you can upskill, and about the Purdue AI ML programs. We've got a postgraduate program in AI and machine learning in collaboration with Purdue University online, right? So we'll take you through the enrollment steps, help you understand, how you can enroll, how you can be a part of the program, how this program really helps you build the skills that we'll be talking about, right? And we'll wrap the session up with the Q&A. Now, just some pointers for you guys to notice. All of you, you can see that chat box is pretty much filled. It's very hard to keep a track of questions. So if you do have questions, please use the Q&A box to ask Nimisha whatever your questions are, and we'll take them towards the end of the session. And if we don't address your name, do not worry. We'll make sure all your questions are answered. Yeah. So just make sure you use the Q&A only. And there are going to be a bunch of polls that we'll be launching, over the session, over the next 1.5 hours. So expect a lot of questions to be answered on the chat, on the polls. So keep interacting with us. Let us know your thoughts as well. Let us know if you have anything else that you would want to learn as well. So do that on the Q&A and the polls that we launch. Okay, right? Now, one more point for you all to remember is that we have a couple of giveaways towards the end. So make sure you stay till the end. This is after the Q&A. So make sure you stay till the end and expect, a 1.5 hour enriching session and an interaction with Nimisha. Right. So I'm going to introduce her to all of you very, very shortly, but I just quickly took you through the agenda of the session. For you, for us to understand all of you better, remember I said that I will launch a poll. So just quickly let us know what your professional background is. Okay. Now this is for us to understand your background, where our audience is. When Nimisha talks about the skills, when Nimisha talks about how you can start, she can probably give you a roadmap accordingly. Yeah. So keep giving in your responses to the two questions that I've launched. People on YouTube, please use the live chat to interact with us. Yes. There's just a couple of questions. What's your professional background? And what's your total work experience? Yeah? Yes, amazing. So some of you are already dropping in your questions on the Q&A box, which is great. What I'm going to do is keep the questions public so that everyone can see. But remember, we'll take them as and when they're relevant. Yeah? So I'm just going to end the poll in a while. It's great to see, close to 145, 150 people in the session, which is very, very nice on a weekday evening here in India. Of course, it's still working day for a lot of you in the morning there. Anyway, I'm just going to end the poll and share the results with Nimisha. Nimisha, I'm hoping you can see these results as well. A lot of them belong to the tech data or relevant background, and yeah, okay, it's like a 50-50 split nearly. Some of them have huge amount of experience, some of them are still freshers. Okay. Okay, got it, got it. So I'm assuming the aim of you joining the session still remains the same. You want to understand how you can build those skills, what those skills really are, what you need to do to be able to be hired. I'm sure, that's your motive behind joining the session, and we're going to cover exactly that. Yeah. So just a quick question again on the chat. Everyone can please respond. Are you guys coming across Simplilearn for the first time? Are you attending a Simplilearn webinar for the first time? Great. Vikramjeet is a college student. Someone on YouTube has acquisition. Okay, talent acquisition experience. Okay, great. Glad to know your responses, guys, on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. No and yes. Okay, okay, got it. A lot of you are first timers. Good to know that some of you have been following Simplilearn for a while now. Okay, great. Just to introduce you to us, what we do exactly. So we offer skills long-term program more than 150 countries, and yeah, qualified is probably an understatement. We've got a lot of amazing trainers like Nimisha who train a lot of you tirelessly. Probably, she was just mentioning the hours, her working hours, and we've got many such amazing trainers who will train you, help you in your learning journey. Yeah, we've got 40 plus global accreditations as well, and a lot of our learners have actually reported a salary hike. You might check these reviews as well on our website, and of course 85% of them have completed our courses, and they found our courses immensely useful. So they've rated us a 4.8 on 5, right? So that's just a little bit about us. Let me introduce Nimisha to you as well. So Nimisha, I think Nimisha has immense experience in AI and machine learning, teaching experience there. So Nimisha, I think I'll let you introduce yourself, and maybe we'll get started with the session.
Sure. Hello and good evening, everyone from India, and good morning or good afternoon based on your time zones. So, I am Nimisha, and I am an AI strategist and data science trainer. Uh, and my main focus is on helping professionals and businesses make the most of AI and analytics. Over the years, I've had hands on training programs in everything from machine learning and computer vision to NLP, generative AI, working with people from across a wide range of industries, having a wide range of experience. Like I see some freshers out there, some 10 plus years experience. So I've worked with 20, 25 plus years experience people also. And yeah, so my work basically sits at the intersection of actually teaching, strategy building, and going for a real world impact.
Right.
So, really nice to meet you all.
Nice, great, great.
Thing to have amazing.
Yes. Yes, pleasure to have you, Nimisha. I think I think we kind of brought you in at the right time when there's a lot of chat about AI happening, right? So in your experience so far, whether it's in teaching or at your day, is it bringing?
Okay, so I believe most of us over here have used we on a daily basis. We use Google Maps. We watch Netflix. We have, most of us have phones which unlock with our face ID.
Yeah,
So if we have done that, we are already interacting with artificial intelligence, right? So we're already interacting. So the thing is, AI is no longer this very distant idea. It's not a
Mm.
very futuristic idea anymore.
Mm.
Like it used to happen. Like I'm not sure how many people of you remember the movie that came in, like Matrix, right? At that time, it was considered to be, oh my God, what is this happening? But now it seems very much plausible. It seems very much possible over here. So
Yeah.
it's very quietly actually reshaping the entire world that we are living. And the main reason is that now we are able to interact with AI and these technical things in our own language.
Mm.
So it's not like this technology is not something that has just come up. No, it was there. It was in development phase. But the change or how this is changing everything is because now everyone is able to interact with these AI tools, these AI techniques in their own language. And it makes it much more easier to work with,
Mm.
right? So whether it is healthcare, like it's acting like a second pair of eyes for doctors. Let's take radiology. AI can now analyze X rays and MRIs and actually detect conditions like pneumonia or tumors much faster than some human experts. If you recall the COVID time, there were various machine learning models in place which were able to actually screen the actual COVID cases based on the X rays and with almost 95 to 96% accuracy. There were multiple algorithms at that time.
Mm.
And this actually helps. Now, here we have to be intelligent enough to understand that we are not replacing the radiologist with AI, but we are
Yeah.
just trying to assist them, especially in the overburdened hospitals, especially in the case of a pandemic or an epidemic when it's happening. It can be of a lot more help.
Yeah.
Drug discovery in healthcare again. Traditionally, it can take 10 to 15 years. But now AI is actually able to identify uh, the promising formulas in months, right?
Mm.
And it's not only about the healthcare. Now, when we talk about finance, okay, so it's like uh, finance is or needs to identify frauds. It is very important. It needs to be able to minimize the risk or mitigate the risk altogether. So AI here is like having 1,000 analysts working round the clock.
Mm.
So everything is happening, whether it is agriculture, even agriculture is becoming smart now, or in education and creativity. So now AI is not just about crunching numbers. It is now becoming something which can write music, which can generate art, design clothes, co-author books, and so much more, right? So it's completely changing the experience. And
Mm.
one short answer, why now? Because once again, I'll say now we are able to interact. Now we are able to interact in our very own language. Like you can ask a question to Siri in your simple English, and it will understand and answer that, right?
Mm.
In the language that you understand. It's no more just for coders or for technical people.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So that means that in terms of skills as well, and it's not limited to a certain industry or a certain roles. It's probably important everywhere now. Um, so why do you think that these skills are becoming more and more essential, important, and kind of sought after by a lot of employers?
Right. So, as you mentioned, see, AI is now creeping into every role, whether you are in marketing, whether you're in finance, healthcare, engineering, every space. It's coming into each and every space that is. You don't have to be building the next ChatGPT or designing neural networks from scratch, but it becomes very important to actually understand how AI works. And more importantly, what it can do for your domain. Now, this
Yeah.
is what is going to give you some undeniable edge, right? And that's what you need, the X factor that we talk about. So there's a difference between just riding the wave and being swept away by it. So learning these skills actually is important in order to stand out, in order to make sure that you have that X factor, you have that edge over everyone else.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. That's probably why uh, someone needs to develop these skills, and it's not that it's now a good to have. It's probably becoming a must have in any role, like you mentioned, whether it's marketing or whether it's yeah,
It's like in
yeah,
90s when people were transitioning from typewriters to actually computers, right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
was a need. And now we
yeah.
can't even imagine a world without computers. Again,
Right.
I think many of the people who join the webinars don't even know about the world without computer. So it's
Yes.
like a paradigm shift. You have to have those skills.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. So just another question for the audience here. Let's say for whatever your understanding is, right? So Nimisha mentioned that AI is becoming important in a lot of sectors for various use cases, right? So I'm just going to launch a very quick poll understanding your maybe yeah how much can you really see AI being used, okay? So let us know, why do you think AI in general is important to you, whether it's for automation, whether it's for analyzing huge amounts of data, creating or curating experiences for you. Nimisha actually mentioned all of these, so I mean, I have given you the clue now, but just like a quick thought of what do you think is really the use of AI? Let us know on the poll. People on YouTube, Abdul, Vikramjeet, nice to have you. Just let us know your response as well. Yes, Farida, I'm just going to take that question right now. Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, there's no question here. It's definitely all of the above. And yeah, and this is your cue as well. So this definitely means that you can't be left behind now, and you can't look at the others going forward. You have to now kind of keep up with what's coming up in the industry and try to upskill yourself, understand what these technologies really are. So, just for a fresher, to kind of break it down in simple words, Nimisha, someone had that question as well. So, what is the difference between an AI engineer and a machine learning engineer? So, how the two really different?
Okay. So to answer this question, we have to understand AI is the bigger landscape. Okay.
Hmm.
AI is simply trying to mimic human intelligence. Very simply put, it's trying to
Hmm.
create a system which can actually take decisions by itself. Okay.
Hmm.
When it comes to machine learning is like a subset of AI. Okay. It's something which comes within AI. And it kind of takes care of everything except for the decision making. Okay.
Got it.
So when you
Got it.
include the decision making, then it becomes complete intelligence. But machine learning, I think we'll come ahead and discuss that.
Hmm. Hmm.
If we try to understand machine learning, it's about the machine trying to learn by itself,
Hmm.
trying to understand the patterns, trying to understand what the data is trying to hide or what the data is trying to show, even. Okay,
Yeah.
either way, that it's trying to understand, it's trying to take that all up, convert it into insights, convert it into something that can actually help in the decision making process. Okay. And
Got it.
AI is when you automate that decision making process, like
Mm,
driverless cars. Okay.
mm,
So they are learning when they go on test drives. They have huge amounts of data that is being fed to them. That these are the road maps, these are the car visuals, this is the distance, then the accident can happen, and humongous amount.
mm,
But that is only machine learning. So we don't want our cars to just tell us, those driverless cars, to tell us that, okay, if I move like this, there will be an accident. I want the car to take the call. That is what the
mm,
whole idea behind the driverless cars is. So
mm.
understanding those insights and then taking a decision, that is what artificial intelligence is.
Got it. Got it. All right. All right. So obviously the two go together because machine learning is like a subset. Someone needs
Yeah,
to probably be able to tell patterns, and AI really helps in making those decisions, which is why the, all of these things actually happen, whether it's automation, whether it's analyzing, breaking down data, and giving insights, or again creating experiences for
that's
people. Okay. Great, 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 great. So, which is why I think both these concepts are taught together in our course as well. What about someone who's just starting out? Now, a lot of you guys here are actually belonging to, you actually belong to tech backgrounds already. So, I'm assuming you have the base, but Nimisha, maybe to address the larger audience as well, maybe you can just tell them what they need to know before they get started. We'll get to these concepts in a while, but according to you, you've seen various amounts of students, various kinds of students in your classes. So, what do you think is that base that someone needs to set?
so when it comes to starting with this AI and you're talking about the base that needs to be set, the most important thing is having a data acumen, having a knack for understanding the data, right?
Okay. Mm, mm,
That how, what is data all about? Okay. So the most important part is over there. You need to start thinking with the data. This is
mm,
actually the foundation of all AI. If you don't have data, the machine, what will machine learn from? It needs to know patterns. It's like if I just draw a parallel with human, because again, we're trying to mimic the human intelligence. For us, for human intelligence, data is like the experience or the events that happen in our lives. That is the data for us, right? Like if you have an experience, if you have a situation, maybe it can be any kind of situation. Based on those experiences, you try to answer or you try to act somewhere in the future. You learn from your experience. So that's what data is to the machine. It is the experience that it is bringing in. Then we have algorithms, right? So these are basically the rules that are built using this data actually solve the problems that need to be solved or the questions that need to be answered, right? All kinds of business problems or even other things, right? Data analysis or AI/ML is not limited to business, right? It's in all domains. So algorithms actually, after learning the patterns from the data, or these algorithms actually help learn from the data and then come up with those rules which can actually help us in future to make some suggestions. And the learning process is the AI models that we're talking about. Okay.
got it.
Like these are the systems which actually after the entire learning process, or actually the automated learning process that we're talking about, especially in the advanced machine learning, like deep learning segments, where they're learning from the images. Like if I pass some image into that, how they understand that image is of a cat or is it of a dog? That is a model. It recognizes features. It breaks down like the facial recognition apps, right? What it does, it basically takes your face, okay, identifies the boundaries, the edges, and breaks it down into multiple thousands of features.
Mm.
That is what a model does. And try
Yeah.
to understand and relate to it. So these are the models that we're talking. Then,
Okay.
yeah, so this is the core of it. But then, since we have been talking about machine learning, we usually talk about two broad divisions of machine learning. One is supervised and the other is unsupervised. These are
Mm.
two broad. Now we're also talking about reinforcement learning. Then we're talking about some others like semi-supervised or self-supervised learning also. These are a little bit more advanced concepts. But if I'm talking about base over here, supervised and unsupervised is what we have as a broad concept. In this is we should take them as at their face value. Supervised means you are supervising the model, you're supervising the machine to actually understand from the patterns. You're passing in the data along with their labels. Okay, so let me take an example. I have a
Okay.
sales team. Okay, I'm working in a business. I have a sales team. Okay. They need to identify from a new list of leads that they've got. They need to identify uh, which leads have a higher probability of converting, right? That's the ultimate goal. And when it comes to lead, those huge organizations are getting millions of leads. Calling all those 1 million leads is going to be costing a lot. So
Yeah.
the sales team actually need to identify that which leads have a higher rate of conversion. And how do they do that? They have some past data with them, okay, where they know which lead converted and which lead did not. They collect similar data for these new customers. And using that past experience, that okay, this is the characteristic of people or leads that actually convert, and this is the characteristic of leads which do not convert.
Mm.
Understand from that and take a call. That okay, I'll call this one, I'll not call this one. That is supervised. They have
Got
some
it.
past experience, and from there they're learning and they're going. Now,
Mm.
unsupervised learning is different. Here, it's like they're trying to crack in a new product which is completely unknown into an unknown market. I don't know who will buy. I don't
Mm.
know. I don't have any past confirmations that this lead will convert, this market is going to convert. So, what happens in that case is that you just pass in the data and you understand based on the similarity of those customers that which people act in a similar manner, right? Which individuals are acting in a similar manner. And based on that, you create those groups and then match the characteristics of those groups with your product and see if it is a fit or not, right? So these are the kinds of questions that we're trying to answer using machine learning. And these are really important questions for business because this is what actually means whether the business is going to go broke or it's going to actually flourish. And we have had numerous examples of businesses who did not take into consideration these advancements and have failed. I think many of you know about Nokia, you know about many of such other companies, like Fuji and all. So they were market leaders, but now, since they didn't adopt to these changes, they failed, right? So this is actually very important to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Got it. Got it. Right. So, just for someone who is starting out and wants to understand where you can really, start your journey in AI and machine learning, and whether you want to become an AI engineer or a machine learning engineer, whatever that is, the first thing that you need to set is obviously learn about data. You need to be passionate about numbers because it's going to involve a lot of them. Understand algorithms, understand how models make decisions based on data. And if you have a background of data, being a data analyst or data scientist, great. I think it's a great place for you to already begin. And of course, you need to understand how supervised and unsupervised learning begin, right? Or how they work. So this is just like a base foundation that you have. Now, Nimisha, do you recommend anything else? What we recommend in the course already is to have some background in statistics or mathematics. So would you also recommend that to people in the non-science background? What do you think?
Yeah, see, in this course, basically we try to start from scratch. Okay.
Mm,
But yes, having some background in statistics and mathematics is actually going to help. Uh, we do brush up the concepts in the course, right? We do come across, but if you have some base, okay, that is of course going to help. Uh, Very basic statistics, like very simple concepts of mean, median, mode. I think most of us just need revision over it, right? Just a little bit brushing up, dusting off. These things are required. So yes, if you have that, a little bit of calculus, a little bit of probability, if you cover that part, it becomes a little bit smoother, right? Thing. But we do also talk about that in the classes as well. So yeah, I think that is something that can be helpful. And
yeah.
I believe many of them who are not from the computers background, computer science background, or no experience about programming, must also be wondering that what about programming? So with
Right.
programming, to be honest, we start from scratch. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
now with these high-end technologies, and since we're working with actually very advanced high level language like Python, right? Mostly Python. Their programming is rather easy. It's a
Yeah.
rather like a steep learning curve where you can just quickly learn it because it's written in simple English and we have so many tools now to actually help write the code and everything, right?
Mm,
So that
mm,
is becoming much more easy. But
mm.
for concept things, yes, statistics is something that you should brush up on, probability, and a little bit of calculus and integration that would help.
Right, right. Got it. Got it. Understood. Understood. So basically, if someone wants to get started, what you're suggesting is, learning, deep learning and neural networks will help. So how does one really go about building projects? Of course, knowing all of these foundation concepts is important. But I'm assuming in order for someone to eventually take on job roles, they would have to display some practical experience with the help of data sets. So how does one really go about becoming this intermediate or advanced users and eventually becoming job ready? So how does one go about building projects?
Okay. Uh, so it's a very good question, actually. This is something, it's like it's crossing that border, right? From
Mm,
being an advanced learner to actually being job ready. And this calls for a lot and lot of practice, right? Um, there's so many data sources available now, right? So so much data that is now available. Uh, every company is trying to give away data, maybe some dummy data, some mass data, but still, there's so much data available. The more you work with data, the more you try and come up with questions and then find the answers to that, that is what is going to make you job doing more and more projects, whether it is using, whether the projects that we are, of course, going to be, our whole course is actually project and hands-on driven. But like you can also go ahead and work with humongous data. Like we do have so much of Spotify data available, so much of Netflix data also is available in certain capacity, right? We
mm,
have Prime Video data. We have so many of the such industry data. Finance data is a
right.
little bit scarce, but still available. So the more you work with data,
Mm,
it's like if you're getting into mining, you need to get your hands dirty, right?
mm,
Then only you will become a perfectionist. That is also the same case over here. The more you work with the data, the more you experience. And if
right.
you're focusing on your own domain, that's one
Mm,
thing. You can go
mm,
ahead and work with the data that is already available to you if you're a working professional. But
mm,
if you
mm,
want to explore different domains and come into core data analysis and AI and machine learning space, then you can explore various domains. You can come up with multiple domains, right? So you can, with all the vast data that is available, the vast projects that are available, there's so many hackathons happening at different platforms. They all give a lot of experience for the job readiness, actually.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it. Understood. So that's probably one way in which someone can gain practical exposure. So there's actually a learner who really wants to understand what they can do beyond the course. So what they felt is that the course really focuses on the basics, and this is something that they already knew. Apart from the projects, in addition to the projects and everything else that the course offers, what can someone do outside of the course to
Yeah.
make sure that they enhance their learning, because the learner, I think, already had some experience earlier and just feels that the course was a little slow. What does one do then?
Yeah, so that's what, like, as I told you, there are various
Mm,
platforms, right? Whether it is Kaggle, okay, that's one of the oldest platform for collaborations where you can connect with um, world's best AI and ML machine learning engineers. So
mm,
we do suggest to go over there, to participate in competitions over there. If you're new, you can start with something basic. Even if you can collaborate with people, actually, collaboration in that way is going to be very helpful. That's what is going to bring in a lot of experience, right?
mm,
See, this
mm,
is a relatively new field with the advanced topics. It's a new field, right? We cannot expect 20 years of experience in that. And this is how you cram 20 years of experience in maybe 2 months or 20 months by
mm,
working on different projects, by collaborating with world leaders of AI and ML technologies, right? So those kind of grandmasters of AI and ML. So that is the kind of experience that you can have apart
mm,
or in addition to the projects, right? So the
mm,
projects
mm,
also that we cover are from different range of industries.
mm,
Okay, so if
mm.
you're getting to core AI ML, go for multiple domains. If
Got
or
it.
if you already have your data, then go ahead. Do
Mm,
some random analysis.
mm, mm.
Anything, any analysis can come up with some results.
Yeah.
It is useful or not, that's another story. But analysis can actually yield results and it will give you a practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Valisity, that's exactly what she mentioned now. So Kaggle helps you do that. Website. That's probably a community there where you
Yeah.
can sign up and collaborate with world leaders. In case you're not aware of the spelling, Kaggle. Yeah, that's the spelling. So in case someone wants to explore, they can definitely do this. In case you feel you need more, yeah, yeah, just one of the many platforms. Yes, 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 yes. Um, right. So this is actually what you can do apart from learning the basics. But because the larger audience is still a beginner, I'm assuming they're still a beginner in AI, wants to build that background, what you need to do, just a quick reminder of what we're trying to really help you understand today is how you can start your journey in AI, how you can, what you exactly need to learn, right? Someone had that question about where they need to start, what's the agenda really, it's not clear. Basically, this is what we're trying to help you understand. What should your base be? What should your foundation be? That's what we talked about. And then we also talked about what concepts you need to learn and eventually how you can become job ready from being a beginner. So that's what Nimisha was just mentioning, that in addition to whatever projects we offer as a part of this course, the postgraduate program in AI and machine learning, we're trying to highlight that this course helps you master these basics. We also help you gain that practical exposure, experience. You kind of learn with all of these AI and machine learning tools. In addition, Nimish also mentioned that you can practice this with other platforms as well, right? Okay. Okay, I think there's some more questions on the chat. So, Nimisha, just a counter question to Kaggle. So, Kaggle simply provides the data set, does not provide deployment experience. Um, so how does one really collaborate? Okay, if you can answer that question as well.
Great. So I think the answer is there in chat itself. We do have Hugging Face,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Which is or can be used for deployment.
mm,
The Kaggle, Yes, that's correct. Kaggle is going to give you an experience with data science and ML. Yes, deployment is not a part of it. Okay.
Mm,
So, um, yeah, so that is not a part of it. But there are many other, like we do have, yeah, Hugging Face is one of the biggest one. Then we have Render, we have Google Cloud platforms and all, which give you the deployment experience also. But before deployment, you actually need to work with the data and you need to build those applications, right? Then you need to go ahead and do that. Okay. So Kaggle is one of the communities which is there, which allows you to collaborate with the entire AIML community, right? So
mm.
that is what I was answering at that point.
Yeah, so Anand, that's the answer to your question. Valicity, if you really want to disturb the class and have these negative comments at us, for the last time, I don't have, neither does Nimisha nor me, have the control over the curriculum or what tools we teach, right? So in case you have feedback about the curriculum, you can most probably do that at webinars@simplilearn.net. Just put your comments and then I'll pass it on to the curriculum team and probably they'll do something about it. But this session is for people to understand what they can do if they have no background with AI. Now, if you felt that the course was basic, was fundamental, did not cover a few tools, I'm really sorry that it didn't help. But what happens before you enroll is we give you the profile of the trainers, we give you the brochure that helps you understand the tools, we also give you the detailed curriculum, the projects that we'll cover, including the cohort start dates, right? So I'm really sorry that you actually had this experience, and not many of these learners actually have shared that. So maybe you could really have share this feedback to me on webinars@simplilearn.net, and I will pass it on to the concerned team, right? So let's not disturb the session here because the session here is to help the larger audience, not just your case. Is that clear, Felicity? I'm assuming you're fine with this. Yes? Yeah. So everyone else is here to learn from Nimisha and they're not at the same level as you. You can't expect that we'll just probably only answer your questions and ignore whatever the others have to know. Yeah, all right. Okay, great. I'm assuming you're clear with what you should do next. I told you what you should do. Send an email, put a detailed email to whatever you feel, and I'll make sure I'm transferring that to the learner success team. I said send an email to me, webinars@simplylearn.net. Do that, okay, after this session. Yeah? Yes. Okay. Yes, that's the email ID. Absolutely. I will share these details towards the end. And, we're now going ahead and continuing with the session in case anybody else has any other questions, issues with the course. Listen, we're not the right people for that. All you can do is share your experience with someone who can actually help. So there is a learner success team that helps you understand, addresses these concerns basically. Okay. Okay, great. Let's proceed. So Nimisha, you can also help us understand what else, how are we keeping up with Gen AI? What kind of technologies is the program really covering? So if you can just address that as well.
Uh, okay, so when we are talking about Gen AI being covered for the course, uh, we're not just going through the technical stuff that is building those architecture for those generative AI models like the transformers and all. We're also mastering the tools that are there. Okay. So it's like a balanced approach. The
Mm,
tools like Copilot, tools like ChatGPT, right? These are the tools which we're trying to master when we're working with this course. We're trying to understand that how these tools actually work. But at the same time, we're also understanding the back end of it, that how these tools came into existence, right?
mm,
What is the model that is actually working behind all of that? So we're trying to gain an understanding into that. And then from there, we are moving on to something which is very interesting and exciting, like building agents, right? So
mm,
we are also diving into agentic AI examples where you're building an automated AI agent, okay, which is doing all of the work that is there. Okay. Like I see some of the one or two learners, they are already using something called as Auto, which is an AI tool which takes notes in the meeting. In Zoom itself, we have that AI transcribe, or which kind of summarizes the entire meeting and entire webinar. It transcribes and summarize everything, right? So those kinds of tools, first understanding how those works, and also the back end of it, right? So those creating those agents, specialization, like a travel agent. Okay, you don't need a human travel agent. You just given the
Mm.
details to this AI travel agent, and it will create an itinerary, probably better than human itinerary. Okay, because
Yeah.
here they're exploring approximately the entire internet to get the
Mm.
answers. Okay, based on the data that is being trained on. So it's kind of using that. Okay. Also, we are also going to learn in this case in generative AI. The important thing is that I have already spoken about that now it has advanced because we are able to interact with AI tools in our language. Okay. And the other thing that has changed now is like it's not only the answers that it tries to give is not only based on the internet search data that is there. It's now I can also give my own data. I can add my own data and get the answers based on that context. Okay. I'm not sure if someone is from manufacturing industry, but I've had that experience in one of my trainings where uh, they bought in a huge machine, and
Mm.
there was a manual to understand how it works. Now you can imagine in that kind of industry, like sometimes it takes 10 days just to train people how to run a copier. Okay, so it happens like that. So now what happened was there was this AI manual, this manual which was there, which was fed into the system. The workers, the operators can come and ask, okay, how to switch on this particular thing. Just write that question and it will answer in your language in very simple English. Because manuals are written in so much technical terms. So this is how AI is completely transforming things. So now you don't need to call a technician to understand or provide that training that
Mm.
how this particular machine works, which is going to cost money and of course going to cost time. So this is how the generative AI is actually changing things. It's not
Yeah.
only learning on the internet based data, but also you're adding your own information. You can add a
Mm.
context that okay, based on this context, give me something. People
Got
are
it.
creating resumes. People are preparing for interviews using this. So
Yeah.
that's okay, and there are multiple things that we are going to be learning, whether it is tools or whether it is the technology that goes behind.
Got it. Understood. So it's actually one step ahead of AI. It kind of uses, a lot of information from, yeah, the internet, from what is being fed to make decisions and also generate output sometimes, right? So that also is what is covered in the course. So just to help you understand how the course is built, so remember, Nimisha mentioned that you kind of have to have a basis of data. So that's what the course really helps you build. If you don't have a programming background, you kind of go through the programming refresher course. You also understand data science, applied data science with Python, and then of course deep learning, machine learning, which set the base for you in AI and machine learning. And you have a generative AI class from IBM, and of course, how foundation models and how generative AI platforms work. These are two courses that IBM will take. And what Nimisha mentioned now, you will be able to understand just the basics of generative AI through this course. Someone actually asked me this question about agentic AI.
Yeah.
Now, so there's actually another course, a couple of more courses that are relevant to what you're asking, Asif. This particular course is only about AI and machine learning. But in case you want to learn about agentic AI, how AI agents work, there's just a course called Applied Gen AI Specialization, which is also offered in collaboration with Purdue University, right? Um,
And
yeah.
Karna, I think this, Asif has also asked about no code, low code. So that is also another course that
Yeah.
simply
Yes, absolutely. So,
that's a different course altogether.
all together. So, Asif, what I'll do is I'll probably share these courses towards the end as well, because right now we're only talking about AI and machine learning in particular. But it's a great question to ask, actually. I mean, it makes sense for you to also understand agentic AI. And maybe while we're on the topic, Nimisha, can you just explain what agentic AI is very briefly, for again, the context, the
Uh,
larger audience?
sure.
Hmm.
See, in this particular course, first let me explain and clarify that we're just doing a master class on agentic AI. We're not getting into too much details of it, right?
Hmm.
We're just doing and for generative AI also, it's just a generative AI literacy thing
Hmm.
where we'll just educate you on what are the generative AI tools and how they basically work. We're not going to get into too much details of building them up. Okay.
Hmm.
So it will be an introductory level thing in this particular course. Now,
Hmm.
talking about agentic AI. So agents, okay, the AI agents we're talking about. Like I gave you an example of a travel agent, right? So there are days where you call up a person, there is a travel expert who comes up and answer your queries and does that. So if you want to travel, you'll call a travel expert. If you want some medical advice, you'll call a doctor, right? Or you'll call someone with medical expertise. If you want a financial advice, you'll call someone with a finance expert who has expertise in that. Agentic AI is bringing those expertise in AI. Like
Hmm.
when I write, I'll give a very simple example. I believe most of us are using ChatGPT nowadays or Copilot or some kind of this AI platform to converse with. So when you write a question, when you ask a question to ChatGPT, something like, let's say, my dog is not feeling well, ChatGPT will give you a very generic answer, right? It's just going to give you that, okay, maybe these are the cases, this is the situation, maybe this is happening, that is happening. It will not be very specific. But what do you do in agentic AI is at the back end, the system is designed, the prompt is engineered in that way that
Hmm.
it's going to answer taking into consideration that it is an expert in, let's say, it's a vet expert, right? Expert in dog diseases, dealing with dog diseases. And when you ask that question, now the person will answer in that manner. Okay. So when I'm talking about a travel agent, at the back end, I've created a program and I have kind of set the prompt or engineered the prompt in
Hmm.
such a manner that it will ask only relevant questions based on travel. Like it will ask first question, what days are you traveling? How many days are you traveling? What's your destination if you have any? Okay. What is your point? What is your interest? Are you traveling solo or family? These are the relevant questions that when you call up a travel agent, they will answer, right? Similarly, when we create such AI agents, we create such prompt engineers, we create or we engineer the prompt in such a manner that these AI tools actually answer the question being an expert.
Got it.
That's the whole idea of agentic AI part, right? The agentic frameworks part.
Got it. So Techno, whatever your name is, actually what I've done is I've shared a link to the Applied Gen AI course, and this covers the different, so a module in the course actually is about agentic frameworks. So you can check out this course. I'm not able to find or figure out the no code AI and ML specialization, but in case you are interested in any of these courses, if you just drop a query on the page, someone will reach out to you and you can actually ask about the no code program as well, but specifically about the agentic AI, if you, let's say, want to understand this in detail, the applied gen AI is a more suited fit. But let's say you are more leaning towards machine learning and then AI, Just getting started, probably this is where, this is the course. The course that we're talking about is the postgraduate program in AI and machine learning. That's a more suited fit, right? How is this course really different from Microsoft AI engineering course? Syed, there are certain concepts itself that are different in the two courses, the Microsoft course and the Purdue course. The Purdue course is more, around helping you build your foundation from scratch, whereas the Microsoft AI course was actually launched, in collaboration with Microsoft's idea of how you should learn AI. So there's a lot of intervention of Azure, Copilot, and all of these. So you have certifications there included in the course as well as different modules. I'm talking about the Microsoft AI course. So that's how it's different. So it's leaning towards understanding Microsoft's frameworks, Microsoft again tools and technologies in terms of AI, whereas the Purdue course is slightly different. It helps you understand the concepts, machine learning concepts, help you build a foundation in AI from scratch, right? So that's how these two are different. Now, again, let me do one thing. Let me actually share my screen and help you understand how you can navigate. I was just trying to figure out if I could find um, no code course. So this particular course, if you go under generative AI, this one has applied Gen AI specialization, has information about generative AI, how LLMs work, about agentic AI as well. The generative AI for business transformation is slightly different, helps you understand how you can leverage Gen AI at work. And what we are talking about today is professional certificate in AI and machine learning, right? So remember, I showed you how the curriculum is. We offer the programming refresher, then you understand data science and machine learning, deep learning, and some electives on Gen AI and prompt engineering as well. Okay, right. Now about the AI engineer master's program, which is slightly different. Sorry, give me a minute. Yes. So the collaboration is with Microsoft entirely. Microsoft offers you the certificate. There are also some master classes from Microsoft. Like I said, there's Microsoft Azure certification included as a part of the course. This is slightly different, although some modules are, nearly the same. There's still deep learning, there's still applied data science. You understand Python. You can see that there's a lot more intervention of Azure and Microsoft here. Okay, got it. So that's how these courses are different. But remember, towards the end of the webinar, we're actually going to ask you if you're interested to enroll in this course through a poll. So if you still say a yes and you want to explore the other courses that are there as well, whether it's Gen AI or in the Microsoft course, whatever it is, you can still express that interest and ask a learning advisor about these enrollment steps. Okay. Got it. So just to summarize quickly, this is exactly what you're going to learn along with electives. All these concepts build that foundation as to what, similar to what Nimisha had mentioned earlier. So how is this really different? What does it offer in terms of learning is that you obviously get a joint certificate from Purdue University online and Simplilearn. And how Purdue is really involved in this is that we got Purdue faculty taking an academic masterclass for you. The masterclass is very similar to what you are doing now. It's actually very similar to a webinar. But of course, the live sessions happen slightly differently. Nimisha will just highlight that in a bit. So the live sessions are much longer. They're about 4 hours long. Each session, in the courses is kind of long. You have the chance to interact with the faculty live. And also, of course, you understand the latest AI trends and you get experience with the help of projects across domains. Now, some learner definitely had issue with job assistance, but his case was slightly different. So he had joined through his corporate, which is why we don't offer job assistance to people who are a part of our corporate batches. But let's say you are a learner joining individually, there is definitely a feature that helps you with your interviews, helps you refining your resume and accessing our hiring partners. So this particular feature is called the Job Assist Plus, which also includes AI powered resume screening and all of that. Okay, so we also give you an IM Jobs membership for free for 6 months. That's included in the course, and this support is you can enable this, use this towards the end of the course, right? So that's how this course is different. So we kind of prepare you for what's coming up and also help you understand how you can actually take up these opportunities, right? So Nimisha, I'll just probably hand it over to you here, and maybe you can help the learners understand how these projects really happen, maybe how a live session also happens, how it's different from what we're doing now.
Right. So live session is, as Aparna said, it's a bit longer. Usually happens over the weekend, evening, or morning, based on your time zones. Right. It's a 4 hour session where we try to work through the concepts and do always implement hands on. Okay, it's not a lecture mode where I'm just going to talk and talk and talk like today. It's going to be much more than this. To be honest, I have found most of the batches, most of these sessions, where there is an interaction, it becomes more interesting, and the learners who come out of that do connect. We connect on later on after the course and all. I see them more comfortable working with these firms, right?
Mm.
So, see, when the fields come, what happens here is that the domain expertise is so vast in case of live sessions that
Yeah.
you get to learn a lot of new things. I have been talking about that you need to get domain expertise also. So you get to learn a lot of new things because of the people, because of the fellow learners. So that becomes an added advantage of actually attending this live session. Then having an interaction, having a discussion, doubt clearing right there in the session. Those
Yeah.
things do happen. We do keep, of course, the decorum needs to be maintained accordingly. But these
Mm.
sessions are mostly hands on, especially when it comes to programming, right? It becomes easier if it is hands on, like you're doing it alongside with me, where I'm live sharing the codes and then you're working it on them yourself. You have some exercises almost every week to work on. You have your lesson end projects, you have your course end projects, right? So it keeps you on your toes. And when it is like every week as a process, it always keeps you on your toes that you have to prepare well for the before the next week's session. So that becomes these live sessions are actually that advantageous for you. And as I said, they are more discussion than like one way talk from here. Okay. Now, when it
Yeah.
comes to projects, in this course, we've tried to include, if you'll see, I find a good number of domains, varied domains which have been included. The projects are different projects from different domains. We have like e-commerce project is there, then we have food service projects, we have retail industry, we have real estate, we're talking about finance domains, and everything. So we're talking about so various domains that you're getting exposure.
Mm.
You're getting a lot of exposure, and that's how you're going to learn better.
Yeah.
Okay. And not only in terms of domains, but also in terms of techniques that you're going to implement. So we try to include as much techniques as you can. We are trying to give you as much practice as you can with some real world data. So these data are not some dummy data that have been created. We have tried to secure some real world data, some real world scenarios we are trying to actually mimic over here. We're trying to replicate over here. And when you work on these projects, this brings in more confidence to you to actually you start exploring maybe the concept which have not been discussed in that much detail in class. Those concepts you get to work in these projects. So something for you to look forward to that, okay, what is this? What is this new concept that we have to apply? So that actually kind of uh, makes you more curious about the work that you're doing and leads to even more and better learning.
Yes, absolutely. Someone also asked about how the Microsoft course is different. The projects there are different as well. And like Nimisha mentioned, whatever course you enroll in, you are still kind of doing it, learning in live along with the trainer. And um, of course, the trainer as well, but also you learn from your peers. So when, say, someone is unmuting and speaking in the class, you are able to understand, the relevance even better because it's your peer and they're also in the same boat somehow. Or let's say it's an advanced learner, they also kind of helping you understand, catch up a bit, in the session. So it's a more collaborative sort of a learning than a one-way chat like what we are having now, where we're not allowing you to unmute, right? So these are just some aspects of the course that equip you with the skills and all the knowledge that you need, right? Just a little bit about Purdue University. So we all know how Purdue is already globally renowned, recognized, and is probably leader in STEM fields, right? So that's why Purdue came. Purdue University Online has this feature, has this benefit of kind of collaborating with different training providers in offering skills that kind of bridge that industry gap. Okay, which is why we've got a lot of courses in collaboration with Purdue University Online. So you should definitely check them out. And of course, you get access to alumni association memberships. You become eligible to be a part of Purdue University Alumni Association. And this is how your certificate looks like. It may not be entirely visible to you right now, but this is what it looks like, jointly offered from Purdue and Simplilearn. And for the IBM courses that I had mentioned, you get a certificate from IBM. Okay. Now, with IBM, you also get access to exclusive Ask Me Anything sessions. That kind of, again, helps you interact with people from the industry live. Yeah. Now, you may have more questions to ask about each of these things that I said. You may have, whatever, counter questions. For all of that, the best person to answer this is the learning advisor. So maybe what I recommend, once I launch the poll and once you say you are interested in the course, what you should probably be keeping note of is a track of all the questions that you want to ask to a learning advisor before you make that enrollment decision, right? So just some success stories of our learners. So Ananya actually, is talking about a trainer here. She helped this course helped her build fine-tune ML models, and that was probably that stood out here. And another learner, Cyril, is really helped. The course really helped him get a salary hike through whatever he learned in the course. And again, he kind of praised the instructors as well. So you should definitely check these stories out on the course page. The link on the course page is there in the chat. You can take a look and drop your interest there as well. Okay. So now that you have understood how this course is, yes, I am going to help you understand the price as well. Just give me a minute. What I would like to understand, because the beginning of the session, I remember, we mentioned that the agenda is to help you understand how you can bridge the gap, what is required out of you, what skills you need, how AI is changing things up. So, what kind of how much confidence do you have in applying these concepts and getting started with a project right away? What is your enthusiasm level like? Just rate yourself on 1 to 10 and let us know on the chat. Maybe I'll just open up the chat so that everyone can see each other's responses. Yeah, Swati, Lucas, okay, Bashir, thank you, Charit. Yeah, yeah, great, great, great. Glad that you could develop that confidence with this session. That's just the starting point, remember. Now you know what to do, you just have to execute it properly. Great. Muskan, glad you could give that a 9.5. Anyway, so coming now to the enrollment steps. If you are in the US, you'll have to pay $4,300 to enroll in this course. And you can pay in installments as well with the help of a financing partner, with installments as low as $430 a month. If you're in the India, if you're in India, you pay about 1,90,000 rupees, and again, you can kind of pay with installments as low as 8,500 a month, right? So again, we have financing partners which help you kind of ease the burden on your pocket. Let's say you want to be a part of the upcoming cohort, which begins on the 31st of May. Remember that this course is close to 7 months long, and these are the course timings as well. So in case you live in the US, your timings will obviously be different. So in case you are interested in being a part of the next cohort, and what you can do is you can just quickly give us a yes on the poll. Okay. Now, if you give us a yes on the poll, it means that you are interested to talk to a learning advisor and explore your options. Please do that, right? Um, yeah, I mean, Lucas just probably they rated themselves an 8. Probably they're a little more confident to get started, or they have a background, whatever, right? So we're not going to judge the learner's responses here. Now, time for the first giveaway. Remember, I said there are 2 giveaways. The first one is here. Now, if you have selected a yes, okay, yeah, about 30% of you, 40% of you have already responded. So if you have selected a yes, you will get a scholarship uh, through the webinar that you've attended. You will get a scholarship, and this scholarship percentage is decided by your learning advisor based on your background, your experience so far, and all of that. Okay. So if you select a yes and you want to be a part of the upcoming cohort, you get an exclusive scholarship just because you became a part of this webinar. Otherwise, you pay the entire course fee. Okay. So remember, this scholarship percentage can vary based on where you are, based on your experience, based on your learning journey so far. It can be anything. Okay. So remember to ask your learning advisor this question about, okay, now I became a part of this webinar. What do I do? What is my scholarship percentage? Make sure you get that answer before you enroll. Okay, so you definitely have a scholarship percentage, and we will communicate this to the learning advisors as well. Okay, great. Now, just quickly select a yes on the poll if you are interested. And what I'm going to do next is actually also answer a lot of questions that are coming in on the Q&A. Yes, the second giveaway, should I reveal that right away, is actually the webinar certificate and the recording. Make sure you stay till the end to receive, to give your entry for the webinar certificate. If you have questions about course or anything else, please put them on the Q&A box. Okay. Okay. So Nimisha, just a few questions for you from the learners. I'll just take 5 more minutes of your time. Someone has asked this question about how AI and ML, I mean, any use case that you can think of in civil engineering or project management as well. Any use case of AI in
I have
civil?
this
Yeah,
one. Hey,
yeah.
to start with, in civil engineering, you are definitely doing a lot of analysis of structural health for structural health, right? So if you have the data with you, you can actually predict and detect damage in buildings, bridges, and dams. Okay.
Mm.
Uh, with the advanced technologies, you may also be able to predict uh, that what is the life of that particular structure. Then, when you're talking about construction management, like optimization of schedules and budgeting, right? All these things, all these common things, supply chains, how the everything is going to work out, manpower management, all these things can be automated with the use of AI and ML. You can
Mm.
use predictive models over there. Okay. Also, yeah, something like when it comes to design, like I can think of an example of a recipe, right? When you're building a recipe, so AI is now capable of actually giving you a recipe with exact components and creating a new recipe. Similarly, you may be able to actually use AI and machine learning for material design and testing. Okay, so creation of that prototype is going to be much more simpler and much more easier now, right? So that thing is something that can be happening over here.
Correct.
I'm hoping you're just talking about the civil engineering, the construction and structural part of it. Because otherwise, if I talk about traffic, geotechnical environment also, so in those things also we have a lot of use cases of AI.
Yeah, I think you can't really cover use
Yeah,
cases in every domain. It's impossible for us to talk about every use case, every domain. But just try to think of it this way, because it's hard to fit all of them in one session in the next
yeah,
5 minutes. Just think of it this way: what is that one task that would make that AI would make easier, or that what is that one task that you're doing now that takes a lot of time, your effort, or your team's effort in case you're leading a team, right? So maybe think of it that way, whether it's what we discussed in the beginning, whether it's automating something, whether it's analyzing, whether it's curating a kind of an experience if you are in the tech domain. So think of it that way, and you kind of arrive at use cases yourself. Okay. Um, but yeah, that shouldn't stop you from upskilling and learning about AI, because like Nimisha mentioned in the beginning, this is going to stay, and despite, or this is apart from the field that you work in. Okay, so I don't think there's a need for us to explain why you should upskill, but yeah, I hope that answers your question as well. Okay, let's look at more questions. Yes, a lot of questions about a webinar certificate. So what I'm going to do right now is let me look at the poll about the course interest. Okay, so I think a lot of you have already expressed that interest. About 60% have participated in the poll, which is great. In case you are still interested, let me just share the link to the course page, and you can drop your details. Someone will reach out to you and explain all of these concepts. Okay, so that's the link of the course. Please make sure you drop your information there in case you're still interested in joining the course. Now, the next giveaway that I was talking about is to give you the webinar certificate. So along with the webinar certificate, you also get the recording of this session. You also get a certificate plus the content, whatever we have shared so far, the presentation as well. So for this to happen, you need to ensure you fill in your details. So I've launched a poll once again. Please make sure you fill in your names. Okay. Fill only your names. Do not fill in your email ID or anything else. Just fill in your name and fill it in the poll. If you fill it anywhere else, I won't be able to track it. You're not going to get your certificate. Yeah. Just make sure you do that. And anyone else on YouTube? Okay. People on YouTube wanting to become a part of the course, just head to the description, video description. You'll find the link to the course there. Okay. Vikramjit, we don't offer internships, but we do offer help, identifying opportunities. That's something that we can do. But again, you'll have to kind of build yourself up for that. Okay. Great. Great. Let me see if there are more questions. I think we're done with questions, Nimisha. Do you have anything else to share before we end?
Um, just parting notes, as I've said in the beginning, AI has now creeped in each and every domain that is there, right? So we need to catch up before we just get lost in the sea. Okay. And we should also kind of give away our concerns about AI replacing us. It's here to
Mm,
help. Okay. It's here to help. The better you know how to work with AI, that is what is going to give you an edge. So I
mm,
think you should go ahead and learn AI no matter what. Okay.
yeah.
No matter of the domain, no matter of your experience in the past, whatever. Because
Mm,
everything is going to come up as a full circle with this course. Something like
yeah.
this.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think she's right there. And I hope you take the next step in learning and building yourself up for AI. It was great hosting this session and listening to how AI is useful. Definitely enriched my knowledge as well. Misha, it was great listening to you, and it kind of spoke about the amount of experience you have. I hope the learners to feel the same. I'm just going to open up the chat for last minute thoughts from the learners as well. And learners, actually, when you kind of exit the session, you'll get a survey. Please make sure you share your experience and also any thoughts about what you learned today on the chat. Would really help. Just let us know how you felt, um, what you learned from the session, anything at all. Let us know your experience. No, I've closed the poll. Just email me here, webinars@simplylearn.net for certificate. But what I would like to understand is your learning experience today. Uh, what did you learn? Yes, just share your experience. Yes, great. So I hope all of you got some clarity in what you should do next, how you should get started. And okay, in case you still find trouble in finding the certificate, please email me here, webinars@simplylearn.net for the webinar certificate. Okay, great, great, great. Great, then I think we're pretty much done with the session. Again, thank you very much, Nimisha, for your time. I'll see you again. Thank you, learners. Bye. Bye.
Bye.